Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. I also like to take time out to recognize those that catch the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight as I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. Tonight, we're continuing with our mini series on Untapped. Tonight we're continuing with our mini series on Untapped, talking about the untapped areas of our lives to where we have unresolved issues. And so tonight we're coming from the topic line or the subject line, the look back. The look back. And that is what our challenge was from last night's topic. I encouraged you guys, or I challenged you guys to take a look back, to take a look at what your issues were and be willing to write it down or be willing to verbally express it. And so tonight we want to talk about what it was for you to take that look back and revisit those places in our lives that really that we have neglected, or that we haven't been in a place of being able to address it and look at it. So I appreciate you guys that are here with me tonight. If you would go ahead and give me a shout out, let me know that you're here with me tonight. And also, don't forget to like and share this video as you guys are logging on. I will not hold you long tonight. I try to keep these series of things short, which is why we talk and break down the series over several days so that I don't hold you long through these nights, as many of us are getting back to our work routine, and I myself am back in kind of a routine of work, and so I am a little less present, and so my availability at night is kind of limited. So I like to get these in and continue to show up, but also not keep you long. I see Janice is with me. It's good to see you, Erica. It's good to see you. So we're just going to get started tonight. Don't forget to send up some hearts. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's get the video circulating so that others on your timeline can join in and begin the healing process in their own lives where they have untapped issues. So just a follow-up, guys, I'm interested in knowing, how was it really revisiting those places in our lives that we don't like to visit? We know that can be very stressing. We know that it can be very hard. It can be very difficult, not just talking about it and exposing it, or verbally communicating it with somebody, but just looking at it ourselves, looking at those secret hidden places in our lives that really we know that cause us issues. Really, we know that we hadn't dealt with it. We're ashamed of it. We're embarrassed. It's a place of sin. It's a place of trauma. It's a place that, sometimes it's hard for us to go back and really look at those areas of our lives. And so this is why I want to talk tonight about the look back, because we know that sometimes going back and visiting those places in our lives that are really hard for us can be very traumatic. It can resurface emotions that we have suppressed for years. It can have our emotions all over the place. And some of us even need to come to the realization that in order to really deal with these deep set issues in our life, we really need professional help, or we need to get some counseling or therapy to really break down the components of the deep set issues that we have. And guys, I know that it can be hard. Like I said, out of all the areas of my life to where I'm open to speak about and where I'm open to really share with people, and then even hear publicly on these lives, and not really knowing who's getting the information and who's watching, even with all the intimate things that I'm willing to share and that I'm open to share, I have yet realized that there are still some areas of my life that I still have not scratched the surface on it. And so to take time out today in the past 24 hours to go back and look at the things that I have not dealt with, or that I have not been willing to deal with because of the shame or the embarrassment or the trauma or the emotions attached to it, has been very challenging for me. It has been. I just have to be honest about it, because when we have suppressed things for so long, we tend to forget. We tend to realize the amount of power and control and attachment that those things have on us. So I'm just interested in knowing if you saw some of these things today that you have yet neglected to deal with when you took the look back at the issues that you've had buried for years, the skeletons in the closet, when you went to pick them out. Here are some of the things that I believe that have surfaced as a result of that. We find that some of us are hoarders. We find that some of us have been enablers. We find that many of us try to portray images as a result of not looking broke or impoverished because of the upbringing, or because of the trauma that we experienced as children growing up in poverty. I wonder if some of you realize that you were codependent. And some of us are murderers. Some of us had to go back and look at that addiction that we have, addiction to porn, addiction to substance, addiction to gambling. Those are places that, we don't really want to look at. These are not necessarily the ideal images that we want people to see when they think of us. Some of us have abandonment issues. Maybe we were neglected as children. Maybe we were put up for adoption, or maybe we went through the foster care system and things like that. And we have these issues as it relates to abandonment from one parent or the other, or maybe both. And we're trying to really come to terms with many of the issues that we deal with. Maybe we have a secret hate for a particular race, or a secret hate for the male gender, or a secret hate for the female gender, because of some of the traumatic experiences that we dealt with. And even maybe some of us have a lion spirit as a result of trying to cover up who we really are and the issues that we really deal with in life. So I wonder if some of these, hey, Pastor Pitts, how are you tonight? I wonder if some of these things surface with you tonight. I wonder if some of these things showed up as you took the time to do the homework from last night and really look into the issues that we have within that we continue to keep covered. And did you sit in that emotion? Did you feel it? Did you go back and revisit and really consider the amount of power and control that hiding these issues have on us? Because they do hold power when we continue to suppress and keep hid the things that we know that have not been dealt with. Remember that we said that, these things, they don't go away. The issues we have, they do not go away. They cause us shame, they cause us embarrassment. And the minute we feel like somebody is going to reveal us, or someone is going to expose us, or if someone is getting ready to tell our secret, we go on attack mode. We go on attack mode, or we run and hide, or we continue to lie, or it's something that we do because that feeling of being exposed and have our secret out, it is attached to shame and embarrassment and some of the other things. We do not want to feel those emotions that are attached to things that we deal with. But guys, these are things that are really real. They are real, and we work hard to build a life of success. We work hard to build a life of healthy relationships. But the only way we can really get to that highest potential and really tap into all that we have is by going back in and cleaning out these closets that we have with the skeletons and the suppressed issues that we fail to address. And guys, like I said, my issues run deep. My issues run deep. And the more that I pull up and I address, and the more I deal with, the more I realize it's there. The secret hates and the secret feelings and the lack of emotion toward human species and things like that, it affects relationships. It affects my ability to excel in life. It affects my ability to trust and to really attach to people that I love the most, or that I should love the most, or that I should care about the most. So it impacts so much of our lives. And the only way we're able to really get to that point and overcome the power and the hold that these things have on us is by exposing it. And sometimes that is the hardest thing. We don't want people to see us anything less than what we have created for ourselves. You guys, you see me here. You see me as a successful woman. You see me as a wife. You see me as a mom. You see me as someone who has love and compassion for other people, and that's good. But what about these other things that are a part of me? What about these other things that you are growing to know about me? What if you know that I was addicted to porn? What if you know if I had a lion spirit? What if you know that I was codependent? What if you know that I'm a hoarder? What if you know that I have abandonment issues? What if you know that I felt neglected and detached all these years, and it's hard to connect emotionally with other people? What if you know all these things about me? Does that change who I am? Does it change who I am? Because when we share, and when we really open up, and when we really come to terms and begin to get to a point to where we're okay with the things that has happened to us, we're okay with the many complex parts of our lives, and we're okay with the things that have transpired over the years. When we're okay with all that, it really doesn't matter at that point what somebody else thinks of us. All that matters is that I'm dealing with these issues that I have, and that I'm free, and that those issues, those secrets, those dark places in my life no longer has a hold or a power over the decisions I make or the level of success that I'm able to attain in my life. And this is where these things get so strong and so heightened in our life, is because when we continue to suppress and not really at a place to where we can deal with these things because of the fear of what somebody else will think of us, or the fear of how it will impact our lives, many times we are the only ones in the way. It is our perception of that fear of how somebody else is going to feel that keeps that thing up, keeps that having power over us. And so we're never really free. And remember, I talked about last night how we're living a life looking in the rearview mirror. We're looking in the rearview mirror. We can't make a decision, or we can't say certain things, or we can't be around certain people because we're afraid they're going to expose our secrets. We're afraid that they're going to pull our skeletons out of our closet. And you know, some of the hardest things that we deal with when we're looking at these things is because many times the abuser or our perpetrators or the people that knows our secret the most are those that are close to us. So we can't escape them, and we're in constant fear of them telling somebody, or in constant fear of being re-traumatized or being abused again, or in constant fear, wonder what's going to happen next. And so these things have power over us. And so we're never really at our best when it comes to relationships, because we haven't dealt with the traumatic relationship that we had with our dad, or that we had with our brother, or that we had with our cousin or our uncle, or whoever. And so it impacts every other relationship we have with males. So it affects the intimacy we have with our spouse. It affects the intimacy we have with other women. And so we begin to have a natural feeling. We begin to desire unnatural things. And it just surfaces over and over and over again. And until we're able to talk about it, until we're really at a point to where we're okay with the issues that we have, and until we realize that we're not the only one, and until we realize that everything in our life has purpose, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Lord knows we don't always have the answers right now. But I'd rather begin to peel the layers back and really look at it and be okay with the pieces of my life and start to deal with it and eliminate some of the power and the control that it has on me, so that I can be productive and move forward and live a better life and have better relationships and have be free from having to live a life of lies and secrets. It's nothing worse than having to get up every day and look successful, or look like I got it all together, or appear to be loving, or appear to be emotionally attached. Wearing a mask for people to see and to think great of me, when inside my own mind I'm tormented. Inside my own mind, I don't really love who I am. Inside my own mind, I cannot even speak good things to myself. And we know it's not always easy. It is not an easy thing to go to your secret closet and pull out the skeletons and begin to address them, and look back at what it is, and look back at the power and the control that it has had over us for years even. And sometimes it even has us stuck back in that place. We're never really able to overcome. That 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl violated and sexually assaulted and raped and manipulated and betrayed and victimized, still stuck in that little old place. 14, 15 years that happened. And so then they begin to have unnatural desires and unnatural affection for young men and young women because of the trauma that they haven't dealt with. And so, guys, life is a cycle, and it goes in cycle. And in some seasons, we're good. Some seasons, we're prospering. And some seasons, we feel like we can conquer the world. And then that cycle rolls back around, and every skeleton in our closet has us frightened and fearful that someone's going to wake up one day and realize that we're a hoarder. And how they're going to look at me, because every time I walk out the house, I look good. I'm dressed to the T. I'm dressed to the nine. But then when you walk in my house, you have to make a trail just to get through the front door, because I hoard, because of something connected to my past that I've never dealt with. Or maybe it is that I have abandonment issues. So because I have abandonment issues and I never bonded with mom, or I never bonded with dad in my infancy, then now it's hard for me to really connect to a male or female in my life. But yet I look like I got it all together. Or maybe it is that I need to feel so wanted, or I need to feel so needed that I'm codependent, or I'm an enabler. And so I have a spouse that it caters to what I need him to be, and he caters to what he needs me to be, and we're codependent on each other, and really we're getting nowhere. So guys, the look back, I know it's hard. And anything we do in life to really address our issues and to really deal with or begin the process of healing, the look back is necessary. We have to go back to that moment. We have to go back to that time. We have to go back to that place and sit in it and feel it and be aware of the power and the control that it has in our lives. This is the only way we're going to make progress in getting over it. And oftentimes, this is why many of us rather continue to live a life in suppression and bondage, is because the look back is so difficult. We don't want to go back and feel that. We don't want to go back and experience the shame of being raped by our dads, and being raped by our loved ones, and being raped by our mama's boyfriends, and all this. We don't want to go back to that molestation. We don't want to go back to that physical violence. We don't want to go back to that traumatic experience. We don't want to do that. Because of the pain and the betrayal, the embarrassment, the shame, the sin attached to it. It's not a pretty place. And in our minds, we think that people are going to look at us differently as a result of it. And we don't want that. We don't want to be rejected. We don't want people to have pity on us. And we don't want people to look at our loved ones who have violated us and hurt us over the years. We don't want them to be looked at in that kind of way. So we learn to pretend and suppress. But it does not go away. We still live with the pain. So the look back is necessary, and I hope that you were able to do the work. I do hope that you were able to sit in it. I do hope that you were able to feel. And I hope that now you're ready to take action and begin the process of healing in these areas that we have left untapped in our lives that continue to hold power over us. I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. I hope that I've said something that is easy for you to understand. I hope that I've said something that it's helping you. I know it's not easy. You know, healing's not easy. It's not easy, but it's necessary if we're going to get to these next levels in our lives. So if you find that you're having a hard time, don't neglect to consider reaching out for help, reaching out and talk to somebody, a professional, someone who is unbiased, someone who's trained, someone who can really help you continue to peel apart the layers. Nonetheless, I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I hope that you'll join me right back here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.